My name is Joe Helms, and I am running for the Fort Mill School Board. Y'all, I'm very excited about this. So it was some time ago that I really just felt a strong sense from the Lord, just say that He wanted me to be a strong voice for our children and our parents in the district. So, right now I feel like way too often they're feeling a little bit too ignored. And children in the, with dealing with the school board, it is the heartbeat, it's the backbone, it's everything that we stand for, that we work for. And we have to ensure that the next foundation, the next generation that is coming up really has that proper foundation set in place so they know how to succeed in life without any kind of bias, without any kind of, indoctrination of any kind. And so, that's really something that's on my heart for this thing. So just to kind of move on, I just want to let you know a little bit about myself. I'm a 35-year-old guy. I'm married to a beautiful wife. I definitely qualify for one of those people who outkick their coverage. And so I'm sorry she cannot be here tonight. Her name is Juliana. She is taking care of our 4 awesome kids. 3 of them are in the school district. 1 of them will be there in just a few years. But yeah, y'all, I'm just a guy who loves this community, and I have a really, if you really look at it, I feel like I have a pretty successful career. Things are going at a pretty good clip right now in my life. Look, I've given my testimony so many times. I got nothing. I got nothing to hide. I am like all of you. We all have a past. We all have a testimony, and we wouldn't change a single thing about it because it's your story. It's your story. I wouldn't change anything about my story. Well, part of my story, y'all, is when I was 18 years old, Joe got arrested. I was in Arizona, and I was with a bad group of people. And so I made a bad choice. I got caught at an airport, TSA agent. Pulled my bag, said, "Hey, sir, can you step over to the side?" And he unzipped the bag, and he pulled out a pipe that had a little bit of marijuana on it. Y'all, I swear to you, it was not mine. I was more shocked than the police officer that he pulled that out of my bag. And I kid you not, I told this story to somebody the other day, and they said, "Joe, I have to admit something." Because for the longest time, I just said I was set up. I was around a bad group of people. 4 days ago, y'all, 4 days, I was sitting down and someone came in the room and they were like, "Hey, I have to admit something. I know whose that was. And it wasn't yours." 17 years this person didn't tell me, so I'm not going to release who it was, but that's the real bombshell. That was the real bombshell for me. So that's probably going to be it, so just so you know. They haven't always been perfect. It actually reminded me, and I'll get into school board stuff, but I'm having a little fun. So all this stuff now I'm spending time in the Word every single morning. I'm up at 5 a.m., y'all. I'm trying to grow my life, move my family in the right direction. And I was reading the other day in John 2. This is Jesus turning water into wine. I was like, should I tell the story? Should I not tell the story? I'm going to tell the story. And so Jesus, we all know, Jesus turns the water into wine. And I said, well, I got thinking on it. What was the actual thing that changed the water? Jesus, right? Like he does miracles. He does miracles in all of our life. But I was like, what actually changed the water? And I just sensed right there in that moment, it was an encounter with Jesus. The water encountered Jesus, and it changed it into something greater. As a matter of fact, the master of ceremonies, this is what the guy does. He said, "You save the best for last." And so I was thinking, man, what a picture that is of us, right? Like we're water. We have this encounter with Jesus, and he turns us into something completely different. And so when I was 18, you guys, that was my water stage, right? Well, now he's been working on me for some time, and I'm just in awe of his goodness. And so y'all, I just kind of want to break that little barrier really quick. That if you hear anything about my past, that's my past. I'm proud of what the Lord has brought me through, and he has been faithful all along. So to this day, I've been at Lakeshore Christian Fellowship. as a worship leader and as a youth leader for, 15, 16, 17 years now. And as a matter of fact, I got to lead worship this past Sunday for our baptism service. It's just an amazing. I live an amazing life, y'all. Like I'm just so incredibly blessed. And so now I'm kind of getting into a little bit of the school board stuff, right? Like enough of it. Got my testimony, all that stuff out there. You know who I am. Okay, what can you do for us on the school board? So just to give you some stats, in 2020, 84% of our graduating class moved on to a 4-year or a 2-year degree, or college, or technical school. So that's actually pretty good. Like, okay, cool. 16% did not. So what did we do for them? Did they have vocational options? Did we set up any kind of apprenticeships? Do we teach any kind of entrepreneurship? Do we do any kind of trade schools? Right? And then I got to thinking again, okay, 84%. How many of you think that 84% actually know what they want to do, feel called to do something, stepped into the right program, and spent all that money? No way. They did it because we funneled them there. They did it because that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, we probably have people in this room that's what we just did because we were told that was the only way to have success in life is to get a good education, go to school, get a good education, get your college degree, and that's the magic maker right there. Well, I tried that. I remember I finished high school, didn't know what I wanted to do, and I went to college, and I sat in a lot of those classes. I had pretty good grades, and I remember one day I was actually sitting I was at York Tech, and I was sitting in my class, and I just got another sense that from the Lord just that spoke to me right there, and He said, "Hey, everywhere I'm going to take you, this is not going to be the path." And so I said, okay. And so I just trusted that. I went and I worked where I was working. I was very faithful in that. There were many nights where I was working at 11 and 12 and midnight, doing 11 and 12-hour shifts, having my AirPods in, listening to worship music or listening to a sermon from somebody, knowing that I was doing the right thing, but man, it was hard. Everybody wants a sweet testimony, just nobody wants the test. And so there, I found myself in this situation. I was married, and I have a young daughter, and I'm trying to find my path. I'm just trying to stay faithful. Yeah, I got plenty of promotions, and now I have a very successful career. One that beyond my wildest dreams of what a college degree would ever give me. I own real estate now, and I also partner with a friend of mine, and we own an Amazon store. So little things like that, y'all. It's like there's so many different ways to success, and we are not doing our kids justice if we only teach them that to take out a huge student loan is the pathway to success. It's not. It's not. I want to see these kids be able to succeed in other avenues. And so that's a little bit of my college story. I did it until the Lord told me to stop, and so I stopped. I stayed faithful to what He called me to do, and man, has it worked out pretty well. So 2 ways that I could continue to help Fort Mill schools and the Fort Mill district stay at a high level, and I'm talking step into it probably even a greater, not probably. I want to see it step into a greater level. I want a new horizon to come over our schools and our district. It is going to be to emphasize my ability to unify. I can work with people. I can work with people who agree with me. I can work with people who don't agree with me, because ultimately, I just want to see success. And I want to find things that people excel in, and I want to lift that out. And I want to make sure that that's highlighted, and that can be something that brings to the table. Now, also, y'all, I work in finance. I want that gifting, I want that knowledge to be able to benefit our district. And so those are some things that I see right now that the Fort Mill School District really, really lacks, is vision-driven leadership. Vision-driven leadership. Y'all, this board, you could call it a body. And right now, it's individuals doing their own thing, and there's no unification in this group. And you can see it, they're meeting right now. So you could watch it. You can watch it whenever it goes on YouTube. I'm going to. And y'all, ultimately I want success, but I think that's something I can bring. And so when it comes to finances, y'all, we have got to fund the right programs. I mean, you can't, it's insane, the stuff that's going on right now. You have to cut spending, and you have to be good stewards of the taxpayers. Like, all of y'all don't have kids in the school district. You may have grandchildren, but even if not, your money's in the school district. Your money's in the school district, and it's going to fund things that, believe me, you would not be going to the store and buying for yourself or for any of your relatives. And so those are the things I want to highlight, and I want to take those away. And so, how do you do that, right? You employ one person. There's a couple other things you do as a school board member, but it's essentially you employ one person. That's the superintendent. You have to hold that individual accountable. And I'll tell you one thing that's not happening right now is that. Because there's too much emphasis on image and not enough emphasis on the truth and on getting results. And that's coming at a cost. It's coming at a cost to our kids. Because nobody wants to stand up and say, no, you can't fund that. No, we don't believe that. No, you're not going to pay this person $43,000 to come in and change everything about our district because you failed at what you said you do. Put children first. But there's a lot going on right now, y'all. It just gets me all fired up. So, that's just a couple ways that I really could ensure just a continued level and holding the superintendent accountable. So that's something that we do. Another thing we do is we manage the budget. Right now, I don't really see a whole lot of that going on right now either. And so if you watch the meetings, there's not a whole lot of questions being asked. There's finances that go through, and then hands get raised. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. That's just kind of the way it goes. And something else we do is we create policy. And I don't see a lot of our board members stepping into this at the level that they should. And it kind of gets pushed off to the side of, well, that's not, we can't do that. We don't have as much power as you think we have. I just kind of want to call that out. Because, yeah, you got a good amount of power. But you have to make sure that superintendent is engaging in that. You put strategic plans together. You hold the superintendent accountable to that strategic plan. Do any of y'all get reviews at your job? Yeah. You want that to be good. Right now, that's not very good. Right now, that's not very good. And you can argue numbers all you want. But when the goals aren't being met that are put before the board, and yeah, those conversations aren't happening, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect there. So that's something that, I really want to step into on a greater level there. And I give this its own line item, y'all. I want to keep a pulse on the community. Like, a lot of y'all have stuff going on. You're not able to make all the meetings and things like that. And I get that because I got 4 kids, y'all. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to run, I got real estate. I'm trying to run a side business. Yeah, I can't make all of them. Now, I will if I get elected. You better believe that. But there has to be some kind of pulse that is being kept on the community that lets y'all know what's going on. Did anyone in this room know that there was a total rebranding going on in Fort Mill School District? 2, 3. 3 people. One of them's running for school board, so I'm glad she knows. But, yeah, that's the stuff that's going on the community did not know about. And so I want to make sure that gets way more public to where if someone said, Joe, I didn't hear about that, I could turn around and easily say, hey, I'm so sorry about that, but we really did make it available here, 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 and here. Which one of those were you signed up for? And so yeah, I definitely want to do that. And y'all, there are a couple things going on with our curriculums. A lot of good stuff. Nah, I jest. So our curriculums have who we have contracts with. I won't get into too much of the names, but they're 3 years out of contract, y'all. And while officially no, South Carolina, there are certain things we do not teach. We're not allowed to teach here. And they're super common, and y'all know the names of them. Well, all of those things have tentacles. And they find their way in our curriculum. We have to get them out. How do we get them out? Policy. You change who we're getting who our contract is with. You find you find a different company who is not implementing these things woven in their structure, because that's how it's happening. It's woven in. So if you ask a school board member, hey, do we have CRT in our schools? They're going to absolutely say, no way, because you know what? They're right, but they're wrong. Because it's woven in other ways. And so that's another thing we have to hold our superintendent to as well. And the library management system. If y'all did not, this might be like one of the craziest things. Do y'all know the books that are in our libraries? There, we got a lively bunch. Yes. Y'all, they're bad. They're bad. Like, oh my God, if y'all went and read this to kids at like a park, you'd get arrested. Like, it's that bad. It's brutal. So, yeah, we got to get that out. How are they even getting in? Who's saying, yeah, that's that check? Like, yeah, look at I'll tell you how, look at who the head of the ALA is. It's American Library Association. Check out that one. All right, so, it happened. You know, as a school board member, this is a nonpartisan position. And that's exactly what I plan to bring to it. So you have to do a couple things. You have to provide an excellent, top-of-the-line education for all children. This is what I mean. I want to see every single child in Paradise have the exact same opportunity as a kid that's in Eppington South. There should be no difference there. I want every single child to know they can excel. Nothing can hold them back. Their home life will be different. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a big factor. But when it comes to school, they have every single equal opportunity to succeed. And I want to see those children have every opportunity to come to their fullest potential every way that we can. I will not do that at the expense of holding another child back. I will not do that. I will never promote that. I want every child to excel to their greatest level. I will never bring another child down to another child's greatest level, because everybody has different callings. And so that's something that is very important. And you want to look at the difference in equity and equality. Literally what I just told you. Equity is a buzzword that gets thrown out now. That means the same result. Ultimately, that means the same result. Equality is highlighting the highest potential of each. And that's what I want to see excelled. They sound the same, they are very different. Now, I also want to commit to fiscally responsible budgets that prioritize studies and that prioritize students and get the best teachers we can. And also, this doesn't get talked about enough, because it all comes down to the children and the teachers when it comes to running for school boards. Those are the top things to talk about. No, I'm also talking about the staff, the cafeteria workers, who have been asked to step into a level that they never agreed to, but because they love the kids so much that they did whatever they had to. Like, y'all, what they've been asked to do has been insane. What the bus drivers put up with. We're 25 bus drivers down right now in Fort Mill School District. How are we doing that? How are we managing that? So it's not just the students and the teachers, y'all. They get the top priority all the time, but I'm looking at the cafeteria workers, the custodians, lawn care maintenance. It's a full picture. It's a holistic picture that you have to put together when it comes to this position. And so, now one of the number one priorities is school safety. I don't want anyone worried about where their kid's going to school, if a threat is made, or if anything else is going on. We're all too familiar with that. I don't care where you are on the political spectrum. You could be all the way over here. You could be all the way over here. You don't want someone to come into your school with a gun or have a threat of a gun at any point in time. We have got to take measures to mitigate that to the highest degree. To the highest degree. And yeah, because it doesn't matter. If that happens, all this other stuff, whatever. That's the top. That's the top. That has got to be the top. Safety in our schools has got to be the top. Taxes, everything else doesn't matter if your child doesn't come home. So, I'll end on this. Maybe I made this a little too harsh. But I really want a zero tolerance for politically driven experiences in the classroom. And I'm talking void of any kind of gender ideology. I cannot believe we're talking about this. I cannot believe we're talking about this. And they won't tell the parents. They don't tell the parents. Who's responsible for that? It's our superintendent. This is what I'm talking about. You have to hold them accountable. I'll get to you just 1 second. Thank you. And so, my name is Joe Helms. I would absolutely love for your support on November the 8th for school board candidate of Fort Mill. You will have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page to vote for me, because 37% of people who go in and hit straight party, guess what? They didn't vote for school board. It's nonpartisan, y'all. I don't have an R or a D beside my name. So you cannot do that. You have to go all the way. You're buried at the bottom. So make sure that you go down and you vote for Joe Helms and everybody else that lines up with the same things that I'm saying. We can dramatically change this district. One of those people happens to be in this room, so I want to make sure that y'all get to meet her. We can dramatically change this district and set us on a trajectory that really puts us above everybody else and makes us, oh man, it's just super exciting. You know, that's what I'm talking about, vision-driven leadership. I can see it up here, and I want to see it. I want to see it in our district. So yeah, my name is Joe Helms. I'm running for Fort Mill School Board, and I would love your vote. I would also love any donations. So, so if y'all want to do that, that would be amazing, and I will go ahead and take questions, and I believe you had the first one.